we the people in the house. So check it. We got a lot going on. This is part two, my people, part two of that status correction. You know what I'm saying? Part two, my people, gather in. You got to hear this. You know what I'm saying? This is a public announcement from the United States Private Enterprise Free State. So, check it, my people. This is part two. You know what I'm saying? And we left off at number 153. Okay? 153 we had left off at, which I'm going to drop on you right at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So, 153, and this is coming from the 178 status correction tips. Okay? Creditor gives the money to you after they credit your account. Number 54, credit report, you must lien everybody on your credit report. You must lien every creditor, so-called creditor, on the credit report because they're not the creditor. 155, order your credit report on LexisNexis and the early warning services. Number 156, Secretary of the State, file a lien on every rejected credit card application in your name. And you file it in the name of the CFO for the collateral security, because that was a security agreement. The contracts, most of the contracts you sign are security agreements. You're giving your security away. So, number 157, you don't release the lien until they pay you and the money is in your account. Number 158, you could file a UCC on any corporation. Number 159, issuer sent for depositor, sent to indenture trustee, sent to trustee. Okay? Number 160, put in the description box of all your collateral. So, what are you putting in your description box regarding your collateral? Number 161, T-bills are money, are monthly bills. T-bills are monthly bills. Number 162, T-bill matures, money is released the next day. When the T-bill matures, the money is released the next day. Number 163, Wise Trustee Handbook. Number 164, send acknowledgement of the UCC to the clerk of the court. So, whoever you're sending your acknowledgments to would be there, whoever it is. Number 165, Auto Trust Department. Sign without recourse. Number 166, transaction, court clerk. Transaction court, court clerk. Number 167, uniform system, uniform commercial code. Number 168, SPC global, 8K, 10K. Use all the names from the 8K and the 10K. Number 168, file UCC in the state the company is in or in your state. You have to look up the corporations for the exact name they were using and how it is spelled. Number 169, Uniform Miners Act. Number 170, who am I leaning? That's who the acknowledgement gets sent to. Who am I leaning? Number 171, 24% EIN number is public information. Number 172, shortcuts ain't gonna make it, my peeps. You know what I'm saying? With this type of tax returns that you trying to get out of you know where, you are gonna have to get real with the tax return that you want to put right in on the paper and then say under penalties of perjury, you are gonna you putting that tax return in. So if you inflate the numbers on the tax return and you know you can't prove it, that's why you got a frivolous filing. So why would you file anything that you cannot prove? The IRS is law on the monetary side of the game, straight up. So the numbers that people talk about, the inflated numbers that they talk about, and over there at that other site, I think it's called Recoupers, they all talk about this. So they followed somebody that did inflated numbers and they got caught out there. So number 173, get the public side first and your domestic side. So you're going to get your public side first. Then your public side is your domestic side. Okay. Then you do your private, because you have to claim that you are on the land. So if you claim that you're foreign, that means that you are not on your land. You are domestic if you were born in the 50 states with a BC from the state you were born in. So why would you want to be foreign to your land where all your securities lie is under your last name? The given name or the surname that you came in with under whatever family tree it is. It's on the birth certificate. So that is how you track the lineage of any security that has gone through the system, is through your last name. And from what I'm hearing, the Pope has they have claims on all the registered surnames. So, if a nigga got control over the surname, so you will only find out if you do your own research and you contact the Pope straight up. There's many people that have already contacted the Pope, and that is a very easy task to do. You write whatever you're going to write up and you send it in to his holy, whatever the fuck they call themselves. I don't see nothing holy about playing with little kids. That's just fucking crazy. So how can they be over us, a people that did not abuse one another, no rape, no robbing, no child molestations, none of that bullshit, real people of the land knew that if that came in, that's a sickness that they have. So that type of sickness is what has spread through the original bloodline of the people, straight up. So number 174, what am I claiming in the description box? The money account number in the description box. Okay, number 175, your Duns and Bradstreet. You need that Duns and Brad. 176, do your due diligence. 177, use UCC public notice. So, act like the secured party so you can take over your own affairs. Number 178, the final one, when you read it for yourself, you know it is real, straight up. So when you receive the knowledge, then act and file on the public record. It's an even exchange, not a one-sided mentality of wealth going into one hand of the corporation. You can only save yourself. So to save yourself, you're going to have to learn the process, but you're going to have to read the instructions. You know what I'm saying? So you have to stop mixing processes. Public and private don't mix, so they say, but that's why fencing is there. Get out of the minor status, okay? Get out of the ward status. Make them pay their share of their taxes. You know what I'm saying? OBGYN office is where the contract started. So they say. But you would have to look that up for yourself. So you can't really beat the system. You can only join the system, because you're going to see that when you start to sit down and do your taxes. Math shows the real truth of what's really going on. Math, straight up. So, the system is changing every day. Every day, the system is changing. So that means that you have to constantly be learning the new shit on how to get in your account, because certain people are making it easier now for us to manage, now not manage, but actually control the account, because one, they're gone. They had to leave the fucking planet, straight up. That's why nobody is, there's so many vacant offices. You have to fill the office and take over your own estate, and you're going to have to govern the estate, which means that you got to learn all the shit about governing a fucking estate, straight up. That's how this is going down. So basically, that all the gurus don't tell you that when you start this type of process, you will not have a life until you get what you have to get out of the balanced system. Right now, it's not balanced. So as long as they keep staying in power and not balancing out, meaning they have to give back what we let them borrow, because when you wake up and find out that they borrowed it from you, okay, because you can take your BC and it will pay off certain things. And they have to accept it because there are laws on why they would have to accept it, but you would have to find that for yourself. So if they accept the instrument, any instrument you give them, if they accept it, you'll know when they zero out the account. Once they zero out the account, you have to download it, notarize and authenticate anything they zero out immediately, and put it on the record. Because if you don't put it on the record, they can go back in a certain amount of days and say, oh no, they could reverse it quickly, just like that. You have to put it on a record so it cannot be reversed. Because that's what they do. They reverse transactions quick. You have a 30-day window for certain utility bills. If you flip that coupon on the back and write what you got to write on it and send it back within that 30-day window, you can get that zeroed out. But it's a window. Some are 7-day windows. It depends. You got to catch the window. That's how it works. So if y'all doing taxes right now, y'all better be real and exact with the numbers. If y'all at that point where you in control and you can do a 1099 ABCOID, great. You got to be in another type of status correction to even do those, because if you do them not status corrected, you're not going to ever, you won't see the money. Okay. It goes to the custodian over your account within the IRS. So, and from, if you're looking at your paperwork that the IRS sends back to you, you would see on it the departments. The departments is how your paperwork is moving. So if you start studying the departments within the IRS, you will know how far your paperwork has gone and what people have seen it. And if that's the case, then you know, if you don't like the way it's going, your case with your tax return, you can always remove that person from your case that's sitting, or that agent that's sitting on your tax return. You can remove them with a Form 56 and a UCC lien. Remove anybody that is blocking you from getting your refund. So you have to let it go through the system, right? You get to certain departments. They say, well, send this in, send that in. So you send it in. They tell you a certain amount of days. Okay. So if you don't receive a letter within them certain amount of days, what are you going to do? You have to call them back up, because now they have acquiesced on a contract. They holding you to a contract. You have to hold them to a contract of answering you back in a timely manner. So, and the IRS agents know that, and nobody ever probably brings it up or puts a Form 56 on them and a UCC lien to remove them. They will just get removed from your case. So that's how that goes. They have to move that person. You say why you don't want them on your case. You know, you document everything that tax agent preparer, whoever that is that has your forms in the office, you keep tabs on it. Everything they say, you better write it down, log it in, trust minutes, straight up. Because these niggas will test you straight up. They will test you to the point where, you're going to be like, you're going to have to either man up or you get taken down. So you're going to have to learn what the fuck is going on. You're going to have to learn when to talk, when not to talk, what to say, how to say it. Because, until you can get yourself fully set up in the system, they will be your custodian until you wake up. You have to show the paperwork that you are the custodian, conservator, and guardian over your estate. Other than that you're the executor, the trustee, you got to do a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of money that you have to spend to put yourself on the record and to correct the record and then to rebut the record. So you have to first lay the foundation of, who you really are and take control of the ens legis. Once you do all of that, then you move on to other things within the process, because the whole process lies in certain departments, and it's only 4 corporations that run the whole show, and those 4 corporations are most definitely the survivors of the 13 colonies. So if Chase was the one that bailed everybody out, when they sat in that room, so Chase is definitely one of the 13 colonies. So basically, you have to strategize each move that you're going to make. Because if you don't, then you ain't going to have a clear picture on how to get it. Strategy is everything. So how are you moving? You know what I'm saying? The pieces are the EIN numbers. The pieces that you create on the board are the EIN number. That is a key. A EIN number is a key in the public. Because in the private, you don't need an EIN number. In the private, you don't need a lot of this paperwork. But in the public, you need all of this paperwork to rebut the record that you were always here on the land born, and that you are the real man or woman, whatever the fuck you want to say. Because basically, you're going to have to take your status correction straight to the fucking Supreme Court. If you want to get it, because there are some people that have already gone to the Supreme Court about their motherfucking money out of where, dealing with taxes. So when it's money in those high brackets, they talking about, 10 million, billion. People talking about they've got their forensic report and they done totaled up $3 trillion that they are owed. Where the fuck do you think they're going to get $3 trillion if you win your Supreme Court case to give you? Which means all the dividends that they made, they already spent that. Straight up. So, where are they? How are they going to pay people back? Are they going to just give you acres of land? You know, if they can't give it back to you in gold and silver, then they're going to have to give it back a whole nother other way. So they have to give it back in land. They have to give it back in property, you know. So people got to wake up because status correction, a big chunk of the status correction takes place online, straight up. You know, yeah, you got to go into the county and at the state, but the real part of it is set up online, and it you have to go deep and keep searching within that system, because I cannot say the system name, but you have to keep searching within the system. If you need help, you can call 407-300-5377, and we will most definitely unlock the lock for you or help you unlock it for yourself. So, my people, we about to get up out of here in a heartbeat. But what's up to Michelle? What's up to Emma? What's up to Jessica? What's up to all my We the people out there on the road to the treasury? You know what I'm saying? We are clicking, locking vaults right now. Straight up. You want to get there? You got to unlock your own vault. That's how tight this shit is. The money stream, the money game is your vault. Now, they got your vault of gold over in Switzerland right the fuck now. It sits in a vault. They show you how to slice the gold up. You can even go to Switzerland and visit your vault. So, you know, picture that. You going to Switzerland, you going to see this gold vault that you have created in Switzerland, okay? So, that's part of the road to the fucking treasury, straight up. So, they got the silver right there in Switzerland too. So now you can buy your own, trade in all your Federal Reserve notes for your gold and for your silver, and it's on a card, and you can use that gold and silver to buy and shop wherever you go. So that's what's going down. Buying your digital gold and silver, cashing in all your Federal Reserve notes through your own card that you use, because you get a card, you get that company that does USD, gold, and silver. So you deposit your USD in, and then you flip it. You deposit it into either your gold account, or you fund both accounts, your silver account and your gold account. And on that card, you buying your food, everything in gold or silver. You no longer spend in Federal Reserve notes. So, and then you got statements to track that you are spending in gold and silver. So that is backed by your name. So now your name is backed by gold and silver, and and to show the proof that you're backing your name by gold and silver is that you can show a statement, a real bank statement that shows the proof that your name is on the account, and that If you have taken over your account properly on the UCC, claiming yourself as the custodian, conservator, guardian, general executor, and trustee, the responsible party, then you would see what I just said. So, the bottom line, my people, is that the game that you have entered, once you get to a certain point, you really can't go backwards because you've learned too much. And then you've sacrificed a whole bunch of shit just to get to the point that we are at right now on the road to the treasury, the yellow brick road. It's gold. The vault is the gold vault. Okay? You know, you gotta holler at me. I can give you this company, the company's name, yada, with the to set your account up for your gold and your silver account where you just spending, you are actually buying using gold and silver every day instead of Federal Reserve notes. 407 300 5377, my people. You know what I'm saying? That's how you have to holler at us over here at the United States Private Enterprise Free State. So basically, you know, you can have verbiage and shit like, DEPTA hereby grants secured party a continuing security interest in the collateral described here in Pursuant 2 UCC Article 9. The collateral is the promissory note and the loan agreement written between, or it can be the mortgage, whatever. But you got to have language, something like that, if you really trying to get through. You know what I'm saying? So, my people, y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up to another reality. Y'all got to get down with the United States Private Enterprise Free State, because we always bring in the vault unlock knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We locking up and we shipping out once we get it. And that's how everybody should be thinking. You got to be worried about your vault because they robbing your vault every day. The only way to stop the robbery of the vault is what I told y'all yesterday in part 1. I told you that you would have to take that BC into Navy Federal, because Navy Federal is the military bank that accepts that type of script, the BC. They will give you a signature guarantee stamp on it. Once you get that, now you go and you retire the BC. You have to send it into Minnesota. It gets retired, the first birth certificate. You have to give it back to them because that settles all the debt. So, once you send it there, then you're going to send it down to Puerto Rico. You send your shit down to Puerto Rico along with whatever Navy Federal documents you got, along with that signature medallion stamp that you get stamped from Navy Federal on the BC. That gets sent to Puerto Rico, all of that. So you start to see a lot of stuff change in the system. It's 100-day change. It takes 100 days for very important stuff like that to go through. So you got to wait at least, 100 days is like 3 months. So you wait 100 days, it trickles down. You'll see things change. The more that you do follow the steps the correct way, that is when you're going to see the change and see how things get very distant from you, where you was not attracting all of that BS before, and it just slowly stops because you have to keep putting it on the record. The more you put it on the record, the less they will antagonize you, because they're not making any money anymore from whatever they were doing. So now they move on to those that are not awake, and you leave it alone. Go about your merry fucking business and file your taxes the way that you have learned how to file them shits. That's how you will see that you have stepped out of that jurisdiction, because that jurisdiction will no longer bother you no matter what. And that is what you have to trust and believe in and know, because you put it on file with your paperwork. So everybody's remedy is going to be different based upon their steps and the levels that they're at and what type of paperwork they put in based on their jurisdiction. So all these people telling you to go get this, go get that, go get this ID. I understand that. I understand to get the ID. Yeah, you can get an ID, but all you're doing is wasting your time. Straight up. Oh, man. You wasting your time with ID. You wasting your time with all IDs. The only IDs that you should be having is the IDs of wherever you're doing business with, whatever country you do business in. Yes, you should have their ID. Where you're gonna lay your head down, yes, you should have that ID too, and you need to have your own ID for your own state. You got to have your own state ID, because that's what you're supposed to do if you claim to be a state. So, my people, we about to ship on up and out of here. Got to go, got to skadoodle. Peace and one. Stay up, stay strong, and I am out.